Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Live Show, baby.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you, babe?
Bam. Is this thing on? Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in, and I'm going to open it up. Bam. Gotcha. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on and appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. You're with the Crypto Lifer, Sam Price, self-made millionaire from the jump, 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32, 32 to 64, 64 to 128, 128 to 5, to 256, 256 to 512, 512 to $1,024 and continuing. And many, many more. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Self-made from the ground up. Never borrowed a dime, baby. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you. You can too. And we're going to teach you how to do it every single day here. Looks better when we see the, yeah. Little guitar, little fireplace, and we're all good to go. Let's break down what's happening here for BTC as I am traveling around the world. And I do my show from wherever I can. 118,300 for Bitcoin. I still see liquidations at 121,750. It looks like we're going to go up there and take out these shorts. BOOKMAP has been nailing it. Every single time we've had this big area to the upside, we have absolutely hit it. BOOKMAP suggests that we will again. Only time will tell. Nothing is guaranteed. We're going to look at it, the possible probabilities, and break it down for you like we do every single day. Where do we trade? I like to trade on Weeks.com. Weeks. Right now, if you sign up today, you weigh VIP 6, 50% less fees compared to the regular link. So sign up with my link right now. Onboard yourself for 50% less fees on Weeks. Only on Weeks. Jump on in today. That's happening right now as we speak. So if you want to jump on and trade where I trade, you want to trade on Weeks, even DCA, spot trade, whatever makes you happy, you can jump on in, and that's going to get you going. Shout out to anyone trading on Weeks with the Lifer. May God bless you all, and thank you so much for kicking it with us and being a part of the Lifer team. Opened up a trade last night on Bitcoin. It's still flat from when we opened it up right there. It's the daily bigger trade too as well. Looking for that right shoulder to pop. Looking for this inverted head and shoulder. A lot of ups and downs, possibly a diamond. We're seeing some whipsaws and crazy price action here for Bitcoin. It's also a very tough day to trade. The day after Fed Day is always going to be a tough day. I don't understand why, but that is what it is. The day after the Fed Day is always going to be a tough day. So just get ready for that. I just wanted to kind of see what you're seeing. Okay, there we go. Make sure, because like whenever I look over there, it's too much. Yeah. Okay. Reloaded. Let's take a look at what's happening to Bitcoin. The bot still in the money right there for the last entry at 117,282. Still waiting to take that paper, though. It's been a long time coming for the bot since the last exit long right there in this key area here. Right about there, we exited along. So the bot's still doing great. Link to the bot, Minotaur Trading System bot, link in the description. I do get a great commission. Jump on it today and a good discount with my link. So sign up through my link on the Minotaur Trading System bot, man. You're going to absolutely love it. Let's take a look at what's happening. We're going to do what's called a top-down analysis for you right away for BTC. The first thing we're going to look at is Bitcoin on the weekly. We're going to take a look at everything we can just from the bigger scale. So the first thing I got to say is, wow, we have beautiful support at 100,000. When we broke 100K, lost it, came back above it, used it as support, that became our floor. That was a big deal. That was really the beginning of something bigger, and people don't realize, like that could be the building block to 200,000 and beyond. So 100K held nicely, beautifully. 21-day moving average kind of creeping up with price, but we're getting 1, 2, 3 wicks after this kind of sell-off there. It's telling us that swing failure may eventually get taken out, right? So what we're seeing here is a possible upward trending flag for Bitcoin. If we kind of place this and touch candle bodies and get it neat, we can see that it's touching in an upward trend, okay? And what you want to see is you also want to see, and if you saw the 21 even curving like this, that would be a slight, subtle indication that something wasn't going our way, that something wasn't going to flow. And take a sip of that Mountain Valley spring water, maybe get yourself started. And it started off pretty sunny today, turning out to a bit of a gloomy day here. Might even looks like it might rain a little bit. Pretty humid here where I'm at. So cloudy days starting off. But you know what? Blessings on blessings. Yesterday was an awesome day. A lot of volatility. This week was great. We had that huge DBCN trade, which I made $5,000 overnight. I'm blessed. As long as everything keeps going in that direction, I'm going to be blessed. So the weekly, This looks like it could still break up to 146,000. So right now, you know, if a weekly candle were to close down here and crack this low, then this would change to a possibly downward flag, and we'd start looking at like here. And then we also pull our fib, and we already know that if things don't go our way, we're likely coming somewhat back down here to the 618, to 107, 108, 109 area, because that's just kind of what's going to happen. That's your previous resistance. That's your Fibonacci. There's just too much confluence in this area. Are we going to go down there? No guarantees. I say the likelihood is lower. I say it's higher that we break up, but no one knows for sure, and neither do I. If I claim to know, I'd be a liar. You see what I'm saying? Because I have no idea where Bitcoin's going to go. I know nothing but the fact about ignorance. That is the fact of the matter. I have no clue. I have no idea what Bitcoin is doing. So let's take a look here at Bitcoin on the 5-day chart. Let's break down what I see happening for BTC. So the 5-day still flat, 21-day moving average coming into play. The 3-day chart still looking absolutely beautiful. Inside the flag, 21 coming into play as well. This is what you want to see when you're getting ready for every single big explosive move Bitcoin ever had in its life. It consolidated near the 21-day moving average. Consolidated here near the 21, left and came back inside, right? Consolidated here near the 21. Once it consolidated tight, it broke out, it broke out, it broke out, it broke out. Here we are again, getting pretty dang close, consolidating. You could say maybe 6 days, or it could be 2 weeks before we finally, and remember we went over this here. If you remember correctly, we drew this for you, and we kept drawing it over and over again, talking about the fact that Bitcoin was in this flag. And when we were here, I said it might take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It might take 18 days. That's 6, 5, 2 to 3 weeks, or 15 to 18 days. And that's exactly what happened. Same kind of idea here. Does that mean we can't pop tomorrow? Anything could happen. But you just start looking at the parameters, and you played with this before too many times. All right, and that just kind of takes me to the daily. And when we take to the daily, we got this beautiful resistance here at 112,000. That's our next really big area of support. You got to just look at that and take that for what it is. And this is why I love TA. TA just has you fill out the rules, and the rules tell you what's up. And you don't make or break your own rules. You just do what the TA tells you to do, right? So the first flag is this move here. And that says that positions me somewhere at about 137, even up to $140,000 BTC. So this is the trade, and I've talked about it for a few days now. Remember, the last time I gave a trade like this, it was the 3-day chart. I still have it up here, I believe, right? I think right here. Yeah, I gave this trade on the 3-day chart at 105. This trade is still in the money. You could still be holding this trade, finding out whether you want to take it all the way to the upside or not. This trade is fire. And yes, I got pants on, baby. Don't play that game with me, all right? I'm just messing around. But don't play that no pant game. No Kevin O'Leary over here. I'm not in my boxers, man. I wouldn't do that. I don't disrespect myself like that. Let's take a look at what's happening here to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, could we go to 137,000? Could we break out? Yes, it could happen. New all-time high. Highest the candle ever closed for the daily is so close, everybody. We're just very close. So I'm a little more bullish than bearish, but the daily candle is looking it's struggling today. It's struggling. Yesterday's candle was crazy. It opened at 117,950. The high was 118,790 even. The low was 115,796, and the candle would close at 117,840 and 30 cents. Down 110 bucks in the day. That's all. After all the shenanigans, it only went down 110 bucks. Today we started with a big rip. We got to 118.9. Things were looking great. We slumped back down. Now what for Bitcoin? So we just keep getting chopped and then a burst. Chop and a burst. Chop and a burst. It's been tougher price action for sure, and because you can see them swinging it either way. Here we are on the 4-hour, just getting tighter inside the channel, and it's only a matter of time, right? We're just getting tighter and tighter inside this channel, and eventually, Bitcoin's gonna pick a decision here. To me, you take this and you see just this alone right here is a symmetrical triangle that has a 50% chance of breaking up or down. That just is the code. All right, I'm not making this up. I'm not, this is what it is. You break down, it's 113.8. You break up, you're going to 123,497, cracking that all-time high and starting to get busy here to the upside. So, again, indecision. I can't tell you what's going to happen. I've got the long open on the daily. We're going to go from there. Either I get banged out or I win the trade. It is what it is. And I've been waiting patiently now for a long time. Didn't get liquidated here. It was closer than I wanted it to be, but we're okay. Tells me, this could go on. for the next 5 to 6 days here, 4 days straight. And in about 4 days, we're going to have to get 4 days and 4 days and 20 hours, right? We're going to have to tell us what's going to happen. There's going to be a movement. So here we are, Bitcoin headed into indecision, and they're going to keep us there. Why not? Because that's going to stack the longs and the shorts at either side. And again, if I was the market maker, I would stomp out both sides before going one direction, right? So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm willing to take a shot. I've won enough in my life that if I lose this one, I'll be okay. I'm still up. Like, I've calculated my loss on this trade. If it doesn't play out, my life is going to be absolutely gorgeous and great. It's not going to matter too much. So I'm not over risking. I'm not putting everything I'll have all my net worth on this move. And I'm stacking BTC whenever we get a bit of a dip. And that's kind of where we stand here for Bitcoin. You can look at the 1 hour time frame and see how we just got back above that 200 moving average. However, when you're on this, we're kind of in chop. So I wouldn't be surprised if we dropped it, got above it, dropped it, got above it. And I wouldn't put it as significance on the 200 moves when we're in chop. It's more when you're in momentum and you get back above a key level. We talked about this morning in the trading group. First thing I went over was this flag possibly breaking out. I mean, you had a curving 21, but it was above the 200. You got a bit of a breakout, came back down, you got a dump, came back up. Now you're kind of in chop here on the 15-minute time frame. Same scenario here. You look at the 1 hour. It's dabbling with the 1 minute time frame again. When we got above the 1 minute here, beautiful pump to the upside. That 200 1 minute moving average is absolutely gorgeous. How it moves and what it does, it's absolutely beautiful. So, yeah, things looking pretty sweet. We got a lot of interesting news today, too, that's coming your way. Like, just stuff I want to teach you and tell you about ETFs and movement and price action. There's a lot going on. Show me the charts and I'll show you the news. I get it. So I would be watching the 4 hour time frame today and just seeing how we hang out inside this channel. Excuse me. I would like a daily close that's a little greener than we are now. I'd like that candle to clean up, but we'll see. My prediction is sideways price action for today. And like when I'm going to bed tonight, we're somewhere just sideways, right? Headed into Saturday. So that's what I'm, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday there. So that's what I see happening on this Thursday. Beautiful day to be alive, by the way. 7:31, the monthly candle closed tonight, as the monthly candle will close tonight at about, 8 p.m. So get ready for that as well. I may not do a monthly candle close stream. I usually do one every single monthly candle close. I just been sharing a room with my sisters, and it's been, with my and her kids, and they go to sleep, and we'll see. I could figure it out. I could maybe do it outside. Who knows? But we'll look into it, and we'll see. All right. But tonight is the monthly candle close for Bitcoin. Let's just take a look at gander at that monthly close for a second, and it's going to be a beautiful close. The highest the candle ever closed in the history of Bitcoin. It does have some wicks on either side, but it's healthy. Some, doing decent. And that could easily continue to the upside and propel us further to the upside. A candle just like this, boom. So just because you have downward wicks does not mean you can't pump to the upside. So I like what I'm seeing here on the monthly, and the parabolic breakout has happened. And now we just have to have the continuation blow off top, and then boom. I just somewhere about 160, 170,000. It looks like Bitcoin's going to have some type of pullback at one point. All right. Nothing goes up forever. It never does. It always seems like it does, but it doesn't. Your emotions make you think it's never going to stop pumping, but that's just never the case. That's just not what happens. All right. Facts are what facts are. All right. Again, I said to everyone here, if you sign up today and jump in 2 weeks, you get VIP 6 status immediately, and that gets 50% off of your fees. So jump on in today if you want to get hooked up. Use my years of reputation and being online to get a better deal than you could ever get, and we'll hook you up, show you the way, and break it down. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for being a part of something bigger than yourself and kicking it with the lifers. So there we are for Bitcoin. We kind of took you from the monthly all the way back down to that 1 minute time frame. And you can see even shoulder, kind of head, right shoulder. We started to collapse. 1 minute is in chop. 15 minute is in chop. We lose the 200 moving average. We do come back down. You have to start thinking it's more bearish than bullish. We lose this trend line. And yes, we could fall down to 113,800. So I'm not guaranteeing anything. What I am guaranteeing is today is a choppy day. And I see chop headed our way. And I can tell when days are likely going to pump. I can tell when days are likely going to dump. And I can tell when days are likely going to be sideways. And just that's what comes from just years of doing this. Like, it just, it is what it is, right? God bless all the beautiful people here on the live. Let me take a look at who's here. I get so into the stream, I don't have a chance to really look at the chat a lot. We got Mr. Butters. We got Dizzy Gang. We got everybody here on the live. We got Land to Sea Realty. Not sure how to gift trading group memberships. Can you help me gift 3 with this? Many people were wrecked this week. You need a system. Let's let Sam get you right. The most consistent in the game. Love you, brother. God bless you, man. Thank you so much. 3 beautiful people. Who here desires to be inside the trading group? Who wants to be in the trading group? Who believes that they deserve a spot with the man who works the hardest in the entire space? If that's you, I want to see a 444 in the comment section. Put a 444 in the comment if you're not in the trading group, but you want to be. You desire that sense. We're going to pick 3 beautiful people and throw you guys in here. God bless you. God bless you, all my beautiful people. God bless Big News. God bless Baby Genius, Aura Lee, Metallica. Who else we got here? Chuck, Sasquatch. So while I'm seeing a lot of people here now, and I'm just going to pick 3 names to get this done pretty quick. Once I pick your name, email Crypto Lifers from the exact YouTube Gmail account you're on and say, I was picked today. I'd love to be in the group, right? So we're going to start our first person here to get it going. And the first person we're going to do is, women in crypto. I don't always see a lot of women in crypto. I see Valerie Valenzuela. Valerie Valenzuela. I believe you really want to be here. It sounds like you want to make it happen. We'll put you in the trading group. Email cryptolifers@gmail. You got 1 month in the Discord with the lifers. I hope I can step up your game, help you become more disciplined, or maybe just already attract to the frequency you're on. Maybe you're already disciplined and doing what you love. This is the place to be. Wow, look at Ariana, Angelina. Wow, we got a lot of women here on the stream. Unbelievable. Elizabeth Moon, Mr. Universe, James Pade. Wow, so many people here coming in again. I'm going to pick the next person here on the live. And thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate this. This is very nice of you to start off the day giving back to the community. Very, very nice. Okay. Henry Wunsei. He's from Ecuador. You know what I mean? Money goes a long way. $99 is very expensive in Ecuador, right? So let Henry jump on in, get that third world gains to probably change his life, right? So shout out to Henry Wunsei. Email cryptolifers@gmail. And you put that Ecuador in there. That did help you because I want to spread it around the world. I want people to learn. Okay. And then I got a good friend named Mac. I love him. He's my buddy. This says Mac Backs Crypto. Mac, you're into. So we got Mac, we got Henry, and we got Valerie Venezuela, right? Venezuela. You are the 3. So jump on into the trading group today. Let's get back into the action. All right. And also, if you are in the trading group, but you're struggling, you want to learn, you want that extra sauce, take the Lifer Vision trading course. $150. People are charging $2 to $3 grand for this information. They're spreading it out into weeks at a time. I took all these courses. Trust me, I did it. The modules. I will give you the information you need to get yourself started. For the homework that you need to work on, I know exactly what to teach you to get you going. Within a month or 2, you're going to understand technical analysis on a far larger scale than you've ever thought possible. Take my class the last Saturday of every month. The people that take it love it. I get so many recommendations. People keep watching it. They keep the recording. You get a recording. You get a PowerPoint. And again, that I make so. And I'm not trying to be rude right now, but I make so much money. The money I make on the class a year is a smaller amount. I do it because I care about each and every one of you. But when people don't pay, they don't show up. So that $150 is really like, I signed up to a college course. I paid $3,600. It meant something to me. You had to pay for it. So that kind of creates that contract that you'll be there and that we'll have a great class. So jump on in for $150. I'm giving this stuff away. I'm telling you right now, the information people are hoarding for thousands of dollars. I will give it to you and I'll show you the sauce. You'll learn so much about who I am, what makes me tick, and what makes Bitcoin rock and roll too as well. That class will blow your mind. All right. Moving forward. And I know it will because I've made sure that I've wowed so many people that have taken that class. I got so many recommendations about it. It's awesome. The total market cap in all of cryptocurrency. Watching closely. Let's take a look at what's happening to total and do our best assessment on the market. So right now, total, the entire market cap of all of crypto, little sketchy, right now. No bearish div just yet because they're both pointing down. But it does suggest we're kind of in a bit of a flag. Might take a few more days, 4 or 5 more days before the bigger pullback, the bigger pump for whatever reason. Seems like we're waiting for this August 6th, August 5th area, first week of August before things start to heat up and we get a bit of a move. I get back to Florida, things get hot and heavy and we start to pump, right? So anyway, and again, could we dump? We could. Could it make a right shoulder and then slump? It could. I see it both ways here. It's not perfect. Some days I see it completely one way, but and then today just looks like a little bit of slumpage, right? And you almost, I don't know, price actions just look a little sloppy. I'd like it to be a little cleaner if we were going to be more bullish. So right now, things are just a little sloppy. Looks like we're coming back down to the bottom of the pattern. You kind of see this cup and handle here. See this cup with a handle? And again, just like Bitcoin, it looks like we're getting some sideways price action. But look at this on the 1 hour. It looks really choppy, right? You try to put this on top, straighten this out, and say it made it back inside the pattern, yeah. So I'd like it to bounce, and it's got to end up somewhere. It's got to just kind of hang out throughout here. Total market cap in all of cryptocurrency, definitely something to pay attention to. Let's take a look at what's happening in the general market and see what's hot, what's not. I just like to see if there's anything kind of defying Bitcoin. Remember, Zora was hot. It's finally down a little bit. Gaia in the and Coca-Cola is a coin I kept hearing about too. Funny, now it's back in the motion there. Pump up 16%. H-bar up 3.78. And let's take a look here if there's anything hot right now. NEXO, which I actually did look at. I have a little setup for NEXO. I'll show you what I see happening for NEXO. Gate, Phi token. Pi token. I can't stand that Pi token. I always knew it was going to be dumped from $2 to 40 cents or something. World Liberty Finance, back in the game. Wow, it's almost $1. And there it is, kind of making its debut there at number 9. Crazy, right? Tether, Theta Network, Flare, BitGet Token, Mantle, Jasmine, Solana 176. The market's just kind of quiet today. As you can see, prices are finding their way. 374 for SWI, Cardano at 75 cents, Arrow back at 822. So when I sold ZBCN, I kind of sold the top of the altcoin, the local top of the altcoin market there for a second. And since then, we've been a bit quiet, right? And even memes took a bit of a hit. We noticed that yesterday as memes slumped slightly as well, right? So that's just another thing we want to we focused on there. Oh, I just noticed something here. My picture needs to be fixed here. I know I had it going on, but let's see. Everything's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect over here. Let me see here. Just give me 1 second to adjust. I know you don't care. Actually, moving forward, right? Who cares? Oh, yeah, I got to take off the lock. Hit Alt. There we go. I just noticed I wasn't filling the screen all the way. And you got to do that. You got to do that over, and then back the other way. All right. There we go. Sorry about that. Ready to rock. It's got to be perfect for the lifers. It's got to be right. How's your day going? Everybody's, hope everything's going well for you and yours. I do want to take a look at NEXO just because it's running across my radar right now. NEXO. We traded NEXO on and off the last couple years here and there. I saw NEXO possibly breaking out. See, like this. It wasn't amazing. It dolphin dipped and then it ripped. Now it's kind of in a flag, and it's got lower volume too as well. But NEXO looks interesting compared to the rest of the market. And right now it's kind of flagging out here. I got a lot of alerts around the market too that we're going to start coming out in a little bit. I even got a watch list that I've been looking at. I'll show you a couple coins that I like right now. Nice enough to do that. I don't know why I do it, but I do. Hey, I want to hook you up. Not everyone can join the 99. I know everybody's going through a lot. I want to make sure I could do my thing, my part for the world, and make you guys see things that you'd maybe not have seen before. Let's take a look at now. I put an alert on NEXO. And then what I do is you can hit this plus button, and then you hit plus right here, and you add NEXO to the watch list. YFI looks very interesting to me. Slumping with today, and everything might just dump, right, if Bitcoin doesn't kind of play the role. But this consolidation looks good. And I wouldn't be surprised if we can kind of hang out and eventually, I don't know, 4 or 5 days from now, start to get a bit of a move here for YFI. It's been a long time since I looked at this coin too. I remember when it first came out. Remember YFI and YFII? This is YFII, so sorry. This is the double I, right? But remember, $94 a coin. And remember YFI? That thing was like, at one point it was worth more than Bitcoin. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what is this coin worth more than Bitcoin? You know, now it's $5,000. But at one point, right, what was its high? Wasn't it like $20,000 a coin or something? Let's take a look here at the high. 94,000. I misspoke. So this thing went all the way to $94,000. I remember when it first came out, 11,000, 5,000. I saw it at $4,000. Was like, what? What a move we went on. I mean, May of 2021. That was insane. Really, the altcoin market, we never even surpassed that in 2024, up to 15,000 from the bottom. So if you've been through the years we've been through, it's been a crazy run. I like Hyperliquid. I believe it's only a matter of time because it has such a use case and people like it and use it, and that even though it might slump or come up and down, over time, it just holds its level. This thing has been a stable coin straight up. I got in at 34 like months ago and it's still holding my money. Like I got in right here. And so it's better than the dollar. It's got more, a possible bigger return than Bitcoin on the balance sheet here. And so I'm looking for Hyperliquid to send to 66 out this bull flag to the upside. Bit of a kind of deranged cup and handle there. Beautiful, beautiful trend line doing its thing. And this other one, Juventus, right? It's these fan tokens for these soccer teams. They can get some steam and then pump out of nowhere. I was looking at it, got really tight. Still seems like it's tight. It's above the 200. I don't love trading these coins, but it definitely was something on my radar. I don't really put too much on that. And then crypto.com. Or no, Cross, sorry. This coin called Cross. Getting very, very tight. I don't know much about Cross. I'm just looking at the TA. The technical analysis looks really nice to me right now. It's consolidating, getting very, very tight moving average. It could dump easily and go to zero. Who knows? But right now, I like what I'm seeing there for Cross. All right. Blessings to everybody out here on the live. So those are kind of just a couple coins that I'm looking at. Let's take a look at Crypto Rank and see what's happening. Again, they got Layer Zero as like the hottest thing in the game for whatever reason. I don't know if they're paying to be on the front, but, you know. Tron H1, consistent growth across key metrics too, Tron. So Athena had the love too, 28% in 7 days. 4% for Ethereum, starting to look good. 37.78 though. We want Ethereum to get that climb. Egan Cloud, Barachain, Grass, and you can see it's basically pretty much a red day for the altcoins. Let's take a look at the bubbles and see what's happening. In the last 24 hours, we got Pump Up, PulseX, ENA, Sonic, all right? And then in the last hour, it's just been kind of a downtrend for most coins, all right? Hey, one thing I want to teach you about that I think is pretty cool is something that oh, that's cool. Shout out to everybody here. Oh yeah, I'll take a listen to that when I get home. That's cool. Thank you so much, man. 99 patterns in the A1, right? Yeah. That's how I have a feeling it's going to do something like that. So watching the 15-minute, look, we keep playing with this 200 moving average, and we haven't lost it just yet. And the more we can hold on, the better for BTC. Sorry to confuse you if you're a newbie. I do got a lot on my screen, but it's not that big of a deal. We're just kind of projecting different time frames. And because of that, you're going to see, you know, like this flag with the flag here. You have some lines that are unneeded at that moment, though. So what we're looking for, get rid of this. That was last night's projection. So you're looking for this to kind of create some type of inverted head and shoulder, and just even a slump and a pump and a dump, like kind of look shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. Does look like it may break further to the downside, right? Something like this. And then, you know, 117.7 possibly and go lower, right? Yeah. Again, I'm not going to touch today. A Thursday low volume after Fed day. Worst day you could be digging for diamonds on the 1 minute or the 5. It just, to me, it's just not worth it. I know when to put my gains on and when to go hard, and today's just not that day. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just not. All right. So it's unlikely to see me scalp. You never know, though. You never know. I might see something and take a shot. But right now, what I'm looking at is chop, and I know chop when I see it, and I'll identify better momentum. What I do like, though, is I like the chop because on the daily, I want to see this consolidation. I want to see us on the bigger time frames continuing to do this. So it's not about doing whatever you want on whatever time frame. It's about using the time frames that are presented to you at the moment. Like today, the smaller time frames aren't giving me the sauce, so I'm not on them. Right? There's going to be a morning. Could be tomorrow, could be tonight, could be any time where I see something different and we start to get in the volume, but it's also about timing. When these things happen depends on the timing. When the big boys decide to put the money out of the banks into the market, right? When they deploy liquidity, that's when the market moves. The market is definitely controlled by the people that can control the money. When they send money into the market moves. When they pull money out of the market dumps. It's really simple. The charts will teach you where and when things are happening, who to watch, what to watch, and how to watch it. And so without using charts, you're going to be lost. You're not going to understand the messages that are being spoken. You're going to miss the words, right? Because it's a language out here, and I can speak the language. If you want to learn it, I can interpret it. I interpret it every day for you guys. We do a pretty dang good job of finding out where price action is likely going to go. I still have faith in 4 to 5 days. We finished the consolidation. We wrecked the shorts to 122,000. That's what my prediction is. That's why I'm long on the daily, but I could be wrong. I may have to bail. It may not happen exactly as I planned, and I do see how we could struggle. And right now, sideways price action is what it is. It means I don't have the answer just yet. I have to wait and see. We don't always have the answers as traders. A lot of times we have to wait and see, and today's one of those days. So we're watching this pattern. We're watching this sloppy, sideways, choppy price action, and we go from there. It is what it is, right? So 118,000 was holding nice too. We had that high at 118,864, and that was somewhere at about 3:45 in the morning. And since then, we've been kind of slowly bleeding down and rolling over here. Bit of almost a Bart Simpson says we're headed to the downside. And could we dump? Today could be a dump day. It very well could be. We could go to 116,259, and if we lose that, the next level I'm looking at is 113.8. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not going to change my longs on the bigger time frames, and I'm not going to scalp the smaller ones. I'll tell you that. So that's where I stand. Wish I could make it far more exciting, but it is what it is. And there's the rain. I knew it was going to start raining. It looked like it was coming. And there's that rain, baby. There's that rain. Shout out to everybody kicking it with me on a beautiful Thursday, despite low volume, despite whatever's happening, because you know what? There's a lot happening in cryptocurrency that's really got me excited and got me going. And I really can't wait to share it. So, Sammy C, you guys are awesome, man. You guys are funny, man. And so, yeah, it does look like a short, maybe in order today. If you're, a short scalp, back to the downside. Below the 200 moving averages. That's a bit of an M. Rejection at 118,684. Looks like we're going to slump back down to 117.2 possibly. Yeah, it doesn't look amazing. That's an M, really, basically, if you look at it. Says we could head further down somewhere at about 117,400 for Bitcoin, right? Phi Protocol, Crypto.com, Fiat Link, man. Follow me at CryptoLifer33. We're putting out so much content constantly every single day. It does not end. Trolls trending right now. I always want to see what's trending and why. I'll take a look at the coin. I gamble, you know what I mean? I take a look at it. I take a gander. Not again. I take a gander. Wow, $58 million market cap. Thing is ripping. Wow, it's been absolutely doing damage for the last few hours to the upside. A little hot now to really chase. $58 million market cap, though, ripping. Put it in this bigger channel, put it in this more sideways flag. There's a chance there could be some more to come out of this, but it's high risk, high reward at this point. Wish I knew about it a little earlier. Would have ripped, though. Wow. Troll. So there's always a coin out there doing something. Almost every single day out here, it's insanity, right? Troll, baby, troll. The bot doing its thing. I like what I'm seeing with the bot. Different altcoins. And look, there's the bounce today. And again, I expect chop. I don't expect a crazy move up. I don't expect a crazy move down. I just expect some chop to fill out the flag. That would be great. This little bounce would be nice. You know, fend off the wolves here. Turn this into a bit of a flag on the 5-minute time frame. That's what I'm expecting. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's take a look at the Forex Factory and see what a week we went through. Shout out to anyone that went through this week with me. It was insanity. All right. And here we go to August, man. August, one of my favorite months of the year. August goes by so fast. It's like it begins and ends on the same day. You know what I mean? It's like before you know it, August is gone, man. It's one of those months that just disappears. I used to have so much anxiety in August because I got to go to this awesome island all summer. I would be in the water. I would be with my friends. I would be riding little motorcycles, mopeds, sleeping on my sailboat. I had a blast, man. I got an old used sailboat from an old dude. It was all disgusting. We cleaned it up, me and my buddy. Paid $1,000 for it. Worked all summer long. Used that money, and then we took that thing. And for the next 4 to 5 years, that was like, I lived on that thing, 22-foot Catalina. I had such a good time on that little boat, man. And it wasn't even expensive, man. Mooring cost $200 a year. We were lucky to get one. And then I grabbed an old boat from one of my dad's friends, bought a used engine, and I was out there, man. He couldn't stop me. So unemployment claims come in today. Let's take a look at what happened here at 8:30 and see how they looked, because so much came at us this week. It was pretty nuts. We had JOLTS job openings that came in low, right off the bat. Then we had the Wednesday, right, Fed day and Fed meeting, which is crazy. We got the Fed funds rate that stayed flat. The Fed rate should have been cut a long time ago to kind of produce some movement in this market and to get the economy ripping, but not going to happen for Jerome Powell. Unemployment claims 218, lower than forecast and higher than the previous. So a little more, just a few more people unemployed than we thought, but definitely less than forecast. To me, I find that bullish. You know what I'm saying? That the economy is strong. And then tomorrow we have the unemployment rate. Hold up. So sorry, that was Japan. Yeah, no, unemployment claims, yeah. And tomorrow we have the unemployment rate in the United States. So, it doesn't stop. We had data almost every single day this week, including a Fed day, and that always creates some volatility, especially with this low volume. We don't have the volume to batter these crazy movements. You have to remember that. So, the market's going to suffer a bit here on the short term during the summer months. I've seen it many, many times, and that's why, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, Bitcoin, struggling to stay, in any way, crazy shape or form. Nothing really to talk about there with Bitcoin. All right, just kind of watching the motions there with BTC. All right, first bit of news I want to teach you, Dogecoin. Whale activity and buy signal hit an imminent price surge. Over the past 24 hours, on-chain has revealed large holders accumulated 1310 million Doge, a move that has drawn attention across the crypto market. The surging accumulation comes as a popular meme coin trades at approximately 223, down 5% for the week, but up 1.5 in the last 24 hours. So some big people are buying Dogecoin. I wonder why. What's going on with Doge? Bolivia embraces crypto amid currency crisis. What this means for SHIB holders. The agreement both countries to collaborate on crypto policy and share digital asset tools aiming to boost financial inclusion. Bolivia, which recently lifted its crypto ban, could benefit from El Salvador's experience with Bitcoin as legal tender. It's a big deal. I don't know what it has to do with SHIB, but even if it does or doesn't, we could go into that if you want to read more. But I just want to see more companies embracing crypto. More companies are going to go down the tubes financially, and they're going to need a reset. They're going to need something that could propel their economy. They're going to be looking for an out. And Bitcoin provides that. Once you start stacking BTC, you stop the pain immediately. Right? If you stack it at the right time and you get a surge in a bull market, you never look back. Like, you get Bitcoin at 20K and it never goes to 20K again, you're sitting pretty, right? I remember when Bitcoin finally hit 20,000. I'm starting to look at my life and I have no idea how fast it has moved and what has happened. You got to just say, thank you, dear Lord, for everything you've given me. How did I make it this far? 1,410 people on a Thursday in the summer, 418 likes, $347 in chat revenue. We put people in the group. We're helping people out. We're going to give them free education. Shout out to my man, Land to Sea, and everyone out there. God bless you all. Thank you so much for hooking up the channel, hooking up the lifer, and being amazing. But yeah, Bolivia embracing crypto. That's amazing. All right? That's a big deal. The jury begins deliberation on the Roman storm tornado cash trial. That's a big deal, right? He faces up to 40 years in prison on charge of money laundering and conspiracy, violating U.S. sanctions, and running an unlicensed money transmitting business. Prosecutors argue that Tornado Cash served as a laundering tool for cyber criminals, including North Korea's Lazarus Group, while the defense pointed to Storm's lack of criminal intent. Overall, the trial's outcome could set a crucial precedent for the liability of software developers in the decentralized finance and privacy-enhancing crypto tools. So, like, it's going to be a big deal, man, right? NY7, long hours of work, sleep-deprived as hell, triers are brutal. Wow. Our lawyers are experts at working around the clock. We've forgotten what normal sleep feels like. Every hour counts, and so do the costs. If you believe in fairness, open source, and freedom, please help us finish strong. Yeah, like they're going around the clock, and it's a bigger deal. All right? It's not enough to know the criminals use the product. You have to intentionally help criminals. Roman's intent was entirely the opposite. From U.S. closing, you'd think the knowledge is all that's needed. Yeah, it's very similar to a manufacturer of I don't even say the word, but, a pew-pew. And then someone uses that in a bad way. Is it their fault? I mean, they maybe use it to protect a bank or something, and then it gets used in a nefarious manner. Is that the manufacturer's problem? You know what I mean? So a lot of people get, taken care of in that way, and in many other industries. Why would this be any different? But you could see it's a way to it's stronghold. It's Operation Choke Point behind the scenes, for sure, 100%. Someone's still there that they couldn't get rid of, kind of with their fangs in. But over time, technology wins, and people realize that it's just a better way in general, and that's just going to propel us in the future. So we'll figure it out. Circle says native USDC and CCTP V2 are coming to Hyperliquid. Circle says it's launching native USDC and CCTP on Hyperliquid, replacing reliance on third-party bridges and enabling direct mint to redeem and 101 cross transactions. I mean, that's cross-chain transactions. That's awesome. That's what you really want to see. That's what we're going for. I'm super excited to see that. So, I'm not a huge fan of like Circle taking over and all that, but hey, any integration is better, and I like to see that integration with Hyperliquid too, as well. Another bit of news too that's got you: Fold launches prepaid Bitcoin gift cards across 400,000 retail locations. I mean, that's kind of a big deal, right? We're going to keep implementing Bitcoin into retail. You're going to see retail and Christmas and Bitcoin. Think about it. Thanksgiving and Bitcoin. Easter and Bitcoin. Bitcoin's moving in. It already looks like the Easter bunny, right? With the big B there. I'm just messing around, but you know what I'm saying, right? Because that's American holidays with spending, and the Fold prepaid card, gift cards, stuff of that nature. I'm starting to get pretty excited. This is adoption, man, and it's happening at a mass scale. I really like to see what we're seeing here with this news. So that's awesome. Another one thing, too, I had a lot of news for you to do. Tether-focused blockchain stable raises $28 million to power stablecoin payments. The blockchain aims to enable fast, low-cost, stable digital payments using USDC as its gas token. So Stable raises $28 million in a seed round led by Bitfinex and Hack VC with other backers including Franklin Templeton and KuCoin Ventures. I mean, that's a big deal. And those are all people that win, and they just continue to win. Franklin Templeton never paid. I mean, they're awesome. Castle Island Ventures and more. So, yes, you can see. Can't you see what's happening behind the scenes? Can you feel it? Crypto is rising, but no one's talking about it just yet, according to new reports by analytics from Alfractal. Social interest in cryptocurrency remains surprisingly muted, even as Bitcoin hovers above 117,000, and altcoins recover from earlier lows. But this lack of buzz might be a hidden opportunity. It always is. Are you kidding me? Once everybody's talking about it, we're going to be pumping. It's going to be over. That opportunity will be gone. These are the days of our lives. Right now, today, the channel's quiet. That's the day you want to be here. Everyone who's here is likely going to be the richer people. The people that are here on days when it's not happening, when no one's paying attention, because that's when you're going to be focused. That's when you're going to research. You're going to have access to a coin, access to the liquidity. And then months from now, everything's going to be hot. Something's going to be ripping. It's going to be all over Twitter. Everyone's going to talk about it. That coin is probably the coin that's down today that nobody's mentioning. You buy coins when again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I buy products and coins and emerging technology when nobody thinks it's emerging, when it's whack. Bitcoin was an emerging technology. I knew it was going to take over. You could tell. Anyone with a brain could see that it had short supply and demand, and then you had to study the history of money. And if you went through The Hidden Secrets of Money by Mike Maloney, and then you also read some books, and then you watch Money Masters, those 2 documentaries alone, those 8-part series, and then Money Masters, that would have taught you a lot. You would have started to realize that they're printing your money to zero. Then if you just held the dollar for 5 years and looked around, you would have seen anything they told you was true. Once you verify this, which happened to me, I decided to look for an alternative. So I didn't have to, like, everyone's like, whoa, how did you figure this out? I'm like, what do you mean? They told us to our face. Like, they were printing our money to our face. You could hold the dollar, and 5 years from there, you go to the store and see you couldn't buy the same amount. You could see that the cereal box, how big was the cereal box when I was a kid? They were pretty big. I've never seen them as small as they are now. They get slimmer and slimmer for the $8.99. The price goes up $1 and the box gets smaller. It just doesn't end. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to continue to print that dollar to zero. That's the only way a currency can actually, live. It doesn't live to store value. It lives to constantly give value to the people that get access to it first. And then it trickles down to the people that get it last, and then they have no value. That is the point. Why would they give the worker value? See what I'm saying? This is what they did. The bankers were sitting one day and they're like, oh, the worker needs $20 an hour. Let's just, now it was way less, but let's just say $20 an hour. They're like, how do we give him $20 an hour? I'm like, I don't want to give him a dime. He should work for free. We're in charge, right? So they devalue the currency in 5 years. And that way, and then they make it work for them. So then the money they had at the beginning triples and 10x's, and the money they give to you goes down. So they basically keep paying less and less for labor, right? As they make more and more money on the top. And so they basically make it go like this. And it's all really put in place so they can get more out of you and you can get less out of them. And that's the deal. And that's like the elite families of the world. Think about it. It all started when they had big mansions and they had a bunch of servants on the land. They needed farmers. They needed to dig. They needed to build. They didn't want to pay. They were like honorable. Oh, let's give them what they deserve. We need to get what we need out of them, and we need to devalue, right? And that's how it all started with greed. And it continues to go to this day. Dow and the Fed, man. The Federal Reserve is just a bunch of families that control the VIG on the money. They print it, they give it to us, and then we have to pay back the interest. We owe more on the interest than all the, and that's why all your taxes go to interest. They don't go to the roads. They don't go to anything. It's all facade. I still do the right thing. I play by the rules, but it's like one day it will all come up. The water will burst through the seams, and everyone's going to see things for exactly what they are. It's just going to take its time, all right? And you can see throughout the world how they've printed money to zero. Multiple currencies have turned to nothing. So it happens all the time, every single day, across the globe. All right, your local currency is probably down right now compared to where it was a few years back. Bolivia, Argentina, look what happened to Venezuela. Look what happened to the money around the world. Like, it's happening every day. You don't even have to. Everyone's like, how do you figure this out? It's like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But gratitude is the answer, number one. And when we use gratitude, we can solve all our issues, move forward, stay in the present moment, and just stay blessed, right? Stay blessed. So there's many different ways to take advantage of a down market or a market that's not, doesn't have a lot of opportunity for that day. You can build, you can begin to research. What I like to do too is I'm thinking, I got a bunch of gold sitting on the sidelines right now. I can't wait to get back to Florida. I'm going to ship a third of my gold to Kinesis. They're going to convert it to the KU token. I'm going to be able to start using it for yield. I'm also going to get a metal back card. When I go places, I'm going to get the KU token, right? And up to 10% back on all my purchases, up to 6,000 retailers. Then I can use that extra money to either sell off what I get in the KU token for free, convert it to Bitcoin. So right now, I'm going to be able to actually convert my gold into a usable asset that can feed back into DeFi and cryptocurrency. And that's, to me, is unbelievable. And so gold now, instead of sitting in a vault in my house, can now be actually used. And again, it's not all my gold. I'll always keep a bit on the sidelines. But now I can actually get gold moving. And I'm starting to stack silver here too as well. You can see I got an available balance of a KAG token. This is a sponsor of my channel, Kinesis.money. I greatly appreciate it. Find out more. Put your gold and silver to work. If you have it sitting there doing nothing, you can implement it. Imagine having more Bitcoin off your gold and silver because you found a way to put it to work and add it into DeFi. They also have the Velocity token and more. There's so much to learn about when it comes to Kinesis.money. And I want to take you through this journey as we continue to grow with Kinesis. So shout out to anyone that jumped on into Kinesis already. I really appreciate that. They do sponsor the channel, and I'm really, really amazed by the connection. And I love that we have this awesome, this awesome family. And this is how gold becomes digitized. They are the first people to really create a process where gold can now be implemented into DeFi in a way. If you think, this is how it should have been all along. Everything will be tokenized. This is tokenized gold, and it's going to continue to grow. This is RWA in a way too, and it's a real world asset tokenized. I mean, this is tokenized gold. It's RWA, it's new age, it's DeFi. It's the future. I'm always here showing you the future, man. I want to keep you guys up to speed, up to date, locked and loaded. This would be great if we get an Adam and Eve double bottom here today. Right? Do something funky. And look at this chop. This is just not, I'll tell you when there's chop. There's heavy chop today, right? So, shout out to anyone trading on weeks. Here's my little baby trade on weeks here. Stop loss is at that wick. We're going to see if we can get the move to the upside. I'm looking for this kind of shoulder head, right shoulder. Again, I had this trade open since yesterday. It's just a little flag. I want to see this inverted head and shoulder break up. That's what I was looking for. We never got it. We got the dip. I did not get stopped out somehow, some way, which is kind of crazy. Or maybe I opened this. Yeah, it just somehow got dang lucky, man. Oh, no, what I did is, yeah, I remember now. My stop loss was here after the wick. I moved my stop loss up to here just in case. You know what I mean? Why not? Use that wick as my protection. So we'll see what happens. We'll go from there. But I'm still in this long here on weeks. It's up $1.31. Nothing to write home about. Nothing too crazy. All right. So we got the bot running. We got weeks going. I had BitTinex. I was scalping on BitTinex. Right? And let's take a look at BTC. Anything we could trade? Is there a NASDAQ? Looking interesting. Look at the NASDAQ. Look at this. Like, that's insane on the 5-minute time frame. I'm not about that. NASDAQ hit an all-time high of 23,848, though. What a whippage. Made a right. Look what they did. This is insane what they did. They love doing this. They made a shoulder. They made a head. They made a right shoulder, right? Everybody shorted that. Everybody did, you know? And then they just went and got all the shorts, man. Crazy, right? So grimy. So it's kind of funny to me, but it's also just like, wow. Again, you would have seen us maybe break above a 200 moving average, and that would have told you not to bet in a short. That's why using the 200 can really, really change your whole game. It can save you lots of money. Once I started using the 200 and using it religious, like every single time, like it has to be perfect, man, it started to make sense in a major, major way. So let's take a look here at Tech 100. So it's in a rising wedge right now. On the smaller time frame, you know, rising wedges do break out parabolically. On the daily, though, you'd be looking for a daily breakout. Looks like it's going to happen. I mean, I'm looking at this on the macro video, right, that I'll put out tomorrow, but that looks like you're going to moon. For sure. So, hey, I'm still bullish on the NASDAQ. Even if it took a dip, I'd see it consolidates and rips up again, but that looks like it may just continue. All-time highs for the NASDAQ. Can you believe it? Just continuing to crush it. And they continue to print money. When they print money, it has to go somewhere. Don't you understand? It's going to go into the stocks. It's going to go into real estate. It's going to flow. So wherever they print money, it has to start flowing into the market somewhere, into assets, into world assets. So every time they print money, you got to expect the markets to pump. And then they tell you they're not printing. They want to hide it from you. They're printing, man. They're always printing. They're always printing that money. They never stop printing. Like, you know, they made you think they did. They have to print constantly, really. If you look at the math behind the science of how the digital currency, how the dollar is created, it's like they constantly have to print, you know. It's quite insane. Print. And, you know, again, if you study fiat currency, you realize that they're based off the fact that people have to print them. That's basically what's going to happen. So the market was slumped. The volume got tight yesterday. Things got really sideways, you know. Altcoins kind of went, eh. Let's take a look at the leading altcoin, Ethereum, and see what's up with ETH. ETH was in a nice flag last night. Looked like it could break out. It started to do that. It did break out and hit 380.75, and then it slumped right back down. So, like, this market's sketchy. Every time we seem to get some altcoin action, we also get a defined movement right back down. It's kind of like boom, 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 boom. Then they let us run. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin dominance and Tether dominance in a second too. It's kind of the whole market's looking for a bounce here. Even Ethereum. Very important you get a bounce. You don't. This slips down to 37.39 and then it could slip all the way to 35, and that would be mass liquidations on Ethereum. I did have Ethereum open on BOOKMAP. Let's take a look at what it's looking like here. It's got some thick liquidity down. Big red at 37.51. So it suggests that it's going to drop down and liquidate. But then the big boy is all the way up there at 4,100. So this says, hey, you should be long into 4,100. That's where all the short stop liquidity is. But anything is possible. And there's Ethereum on BOOKMAP. And BOOKMAP, you can do Ethereum, XRP, Solana, so many different coins. I always forget to say that. Link to BOOKMAP in the description. I absolutely love BOOKMAP. Shows me where the liquidity is. Shows me where the candle, you see candlesticks. I see what the candlesticks are hiding. I see the liquidity. It's pretty awesome if you think about it. So that kind of opens it up. And that tells me, yeah, $4,100 Ethereum looks very, very likely. And so I'm still long ETH. They'd have to go down to 3,300, right? So I see a lot of big whale positions at a $3,300 liquidation. So either they're going to take out the whole world or we're going to get to 4,100 and get paid, Again, no one knows for sure. It is what it is. One step, one candle, one day at a time. So that's like, kind of what I see happening throughout the next few days is sideways price action, the daily, some chop. Then we get into that weekly candle close. The monthly candle close tonight, too, will be. There's usually some expirations on the monthly, too. So we should get some volatility tonight. Be careful with that monthly candle close. And then tomorrow, we got a lot coming our way as well with the unemployment rate changing. We'll see. It's forecasted 4.2. Previous was 4.1. And anything is possible. We also have non-farm employment change and the average hourly earnings month over month. So that information is going to provide some good data. And then final manufacturing PMI too as well. Construction spending month over month. We got a lot of data coming in tomorrow between 8:30 and 10 a.m. Definitely going to move this market. With the lower volume on the weekend, on the summer, you definitely have to have yourself unawares, right? Let's see if there's something to trade. Is gold tradable today? Let's take a look. Is Amazon worth trade? But I never scalped Amazon. Let's live. I've never traded Amazon, right? No, never in my life. I never bought a long term. I never bought a short term. A lot of people made a lot of money off Amazon, right? Just hold it for 20 years, just like Bitcoin. And bang. What I finally realized is the richest people bought something and held it for a long period of time. You know what I mean? So I found Bitcoin and held it for a long period of time. And by golly gee, oh my, it worked, man. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy, right? I took the simple plan that I saw a lot of rich billionaires do and multimillionaires, and I just said, hey, I'll do the same thing, right? Well, you want to see if Amazon can break out on the 1 hour of this rising wedge. If the S&P keeps pumping, NASDAQ keeps pumping, no reason why Amazon won't take it by storm. Seeing some crazy price action a little bit here on the Ethereum. It's just, you're getting that like, brrr, numbers flying around a lot, getting liquidations movement. Price action is violent this morning for Ethereum. All right, what I want to take a look at now is definitely Bitcoin dominance. But right now, that looks like it's going to dump. It looks like it rolled over and it's just not going to happen here. Yikes. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance and see what's happening to Bitcoin dominance. So the last time we looked at Bitcoin dominance, we did expect a bit of kind of like a right shoulder, and we did get a bit of a spike here to the upside. Let's get some sense of this and take a look. And we'll do this again tomorrow with the macro technical analysis video and show you where everything stands from gold to silver to the S&P and more. So a bit of a double bottom. We do have some support right there, which we've come to, which ain't bad. But Bitcoin dominance definitely fell out the rising wedge. And now it's below the daily 200 moving average. So I expect it, even if it were to bounce up a little bit, to eventually get rejected again. So I'm expecting it to bounce a little more, possibly get a move here, but eventually bear flag its way on down and just continue lower. Just like if we were bullish, we'd be above the 200 moving average. We'd hit the flag and we'd continue to pump. So I'm looking for a very similar behavior here when it comes to, but I'm upside down, right? When it comes to the movement down for Bitcoin dominance. Nice pump there for Ethereum back to 3773. I'll take it. $10 pump for Ethereum. Hey, it is what it is, baby. It is what it is. And then we got the bigger trades open on NEXO as well. These trades are huge trades. These are long-term daily trades, right? This one is the 0.63. That's 150,000. And right now, they're kind of just sitting. You know what I mean? One of them's underwater, one of them's hanging. So we're just waiting to see what can happen to these trades. Flat today on the day, right? So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I love Jupe. If you ever want to buy a coin, like a smaller coin, you don't know what it is, it's got a Jupe sole address, I buy it on Jupe, man. I like it. Make Solana safer with cleaner guides and optional express reviews for token creators. Apply for verification. Introducing verification V4. Interesting. Huh. But Jupiter. I like Jupe. Let's take a look at Solana and see where Solana's going. You know, Bonk looked nice. What moves when Solana pumps? What pumps? Right? You want to think. Whiff, Bonk, Shib. The whole kind of Solana market really starts to move. And then once those coins move, what happens? So, you know, Sui moves. Say moves. Then you got Sealor, like, you know, all these weird little Say memes. And then you got Suilin and Suilin and SuiSwap. And you got to get Solana to wake up a little bit and bounce off a retrace here. Let's take a look. If I pull the fib here from this wick all the way to that wick, and that's how you're going to pull the fib. How did I access the Fibonacci? Let's delete this. We're going to hit Alt-F. We're going to start right here at the wick. We're going to move from the wick all the way back to the top to the upper right. We're moving bottom left, upper right. We're matching that with the wick. We're seeing that we came to the 618 golden pocket. Wait. Yours doesn't look like mine. Why? Well, you might not have the 0.65. You're going to have to go into your settings, hit the style button, click on one of these. It may be different, and then put 0.65. I make it white because I want to see a white box, basically, between the 0.65 and the 0.618. If I get those locked in, I'm ready to rock. That shows me that we can get the bounce. Things are starting to look great. So we're right here in this golden pocket. All right, things are kind of sitting pretty. We're all nice and wrapped neatly here. The wick came back up. This is definitely an accumulation place. This is definitely where I would DCA. It's not where I would go all in, but it's where I would DCA, begin to buy. You're not buying the top. I wouldn't be buying the top, right? But it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days of pullback, and here we are. And we knew after that huge pump, we were coming back to that daily 21-day moving average, and we went over it many, many times. An upscale, you know, an upsending, basically an uptrending cup and handle here with that higher right side than low, but, you know, it's an uptrending. I call it an ascending cup and handle. So all is well that ends well. 214 to 243. 214.43 cents, right, is our next target. Again, could we dip lower? We may. It's battling with this support and resistance, and we do seem to have some good support at 173. But, you know, we may have to tap that daily 200 to 164. It could happen. If Bitcoin slumps, the whole market jumps. Bitcoin back above 118,000. You know, today could be the day. So, again, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm as transparent as I can be. I'm long on Bitcoin on the daily, right? I'm long on Ethereum as well. And I just want to see where price action can go. And I'm not scalping in anything too crazy on the smaller time frames because it's been erratic throughout the day. So that's kind of where I stand for Bitcoin. A lot of different altcoins look good to me. I like RWA. I like gaming. I'm still, you know, I've accumulated a mass amount of altcoins. I share that with my trading group every single week in a weekly screen share. And we kind of break down why I'm buying something, what's going on, and what's happening. All right. Shout out to Rolex for making the most beautiful watches in the game, man. They really are. There's nothing better than a Rolex. I mean, people like the Pateks and all their other stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, do you really need to spend $100? Maybe you do. Maybe you have so much money, you got to buy a watch to keep your money, a $100,000 watch or whatever. But at the end of the day, watches can get scratched, things can happen, and then people won't pay the most for them either. So, you know, you got to pick and choose your game. A lot of grown men that are super rich, they like that watch game. Accumulating watches, just something better than keeping it in money. The money's going to keep going to zero, right? So you might as well buy something to keep that store of value. That's kind of the whole point of buying a watch. You're not even buying anything. You're just really putting it into a new savings account and just making the whole world make it look like you're rich. You know what I'm saying? It's really just a smart, if you can buy the right watch at the right time, it's a smart investment, right? But it is what it is, man. Buying your first Rolex, I think, is a cool accomplishment. Whether it's, you know, a 4,000, 5,000, 7,000, 10, whatever it is, 50,000, 70. Some people have I saw watches, and a guy I was hanging out with, he had the $100,000 Daytona, man. All gold Daytona, bang, you know. And whatever, who cares, man? They all we'll all die, and we can't take it with us when we die. I can't get my mom back with a Rolex. I miss my mom so much. So, you know, when my parents died, it humbled me. It taught me so much about how material things really, like I got all these material things I ever dreamed about. I got the Escalade. I got to rent homes all around the world. I could pay for any Airbnb I wanted. I could do whatever. I could buy the nicest equipment, build the biggest computer, buy the nicest microphones, buy as many monitors as I want, buy the nicest stand-up desk, like whatever it needed, the nicest lenses, cameras, you name it, I had it. And, you know, you'd give it all back for a moment with your mom, right? So you could say the best thing about my parents passing was it made me not fall in love with the material world in which I was able to possess, right? And I share this with you because I hope you get very rich one day in cryptocurrency. And the reason why I hope you get rich is because I hope you can fire your boss. Maybe you're working a job you don't love. Maybe you don't see your kids as much because you drive a tractor trailer. Like maybe there's reasons why a little bit of extra money in your life would really make a big change. I know for me it did. I was on the night shift. I was in a one-bedroom apartment. My first daughter lived till 5 years old, right next to Queens Boulevard. You know what I mean? Now my other two daughters are in gated communities with, like, you know, and hey, maybe they don't have the grit my first daughter had. Maybe it's good to grow up on those mean streets. But at the same time, man, I love my girls. I want to protect them as much as I can, give them a great life, right? So my whole point is this, man. If you do get rich with the channel, with the education I help you, or just I'm helping you on your journey, you get education from different places, I'm just one of them. You know, I want you to stay grounded in that time when you get rich. I want you to be able to find yourself, find God. I want you to stay connected to what made you who you were when you were done, when you had nothing. I don't want you to lose yourself in the material world and start that making who you are. People are like, yo, look how much I'm worth. 20 mil. That's me. You know, if someone took their 20 mil, they'd be devastated. But you're not 20 mil. You're you. You were just the person that created the energy. Always remember, separate yourself from the money. Remember, the money just follows energy. If you're on the right frequency and the right energy, you'll always have the money. You know what I mean? You'll never have to stress. Like, money will flow to you in such a way you never thought possible. It flows to me constantly now. I work hard. I develop systems, passive ideas. I talk online all day long. Someone's watching me around the world every day, right? But that comes from constant, you know, every single day, no days off. And look, I barely get to 100,000. I'm fighting so hard every day. And no one gives you anything, everybody. You fight for every single thing you have in this life. And I say it all the time, but I reiterate it for myself because every time I think it's easy, every time I think I'm on I tell myself, man, you got more work to do. You barely graze the surface of 5 years of live streaming every single day, and you've barely grazed the surface. There's so much more to be had. There's so much more to do. You're not even close to where you could be in life, right? Today's a big day, though. We hit 99,000 subscribers. It's a really big deal to me. 99,000 subscribers. Like, I sit there and look at that and say, wow, 99,000 subscribers. Today, the market's kind of slow. We're getting a bit of a dump. It's not perfect. It's not action-packed in action right now. You know, we are at 118.80, though. We're getting a nice little bounce. But you know what I'm saying? So today's the day to reassess who you are, go over what's happening, make sure you're hitting all your due diligence, your disciplines. If you're not working out enough, make sure you're correcting that. Find out where your energy lies today. See where you sit with your investing, your dreams. Are you worth 100 mil, 200 mil, a billion? Where's your value? Where do you value yourself? You're only going to get as much from the world as you value for yourself. You understand that? Look at this. Let's take a look at this. This is such a life-changing moment here. If I saw this on a live stream, it would blow my mind. Look, the guy starts the stream in September 9th of 2019. He has 1 subscriber. You know how many people would just never, after a month, 31 people subscribed to the channel, about 2 months, right? By December 9th, September to October to, 3 months, 35 people subscribed to the channel. 35, everybody. You know, and you build things one step at a time. Look, this channel was built 1 subscriber at a time. It seems unreal that you could get to 100,000. Most people think you'll never get there. But then we had 7,000. Then we had 10,000. Then we had 12,000. Then we had 17. Look, 2 years later, 3 years down the line. Look where I am 3 years later. Let's go to September 9th of 2022. 3 years later, I'm sitting pretty. I'm known on ATP. People know me, right? 3 years ago, I was on ATB. 3 years ago, I was making predictions for Bitcoin that all came true. I was calling 20,000 back in the day here from 6,000. I was calling, people don't realize that I've been calling Bitcoin for 5, 6, 7 years now. Like, this isn't just a one-time deal show. I'm not just some guy that made some radio voice and shows up. Like, this has been a constant grind. This is no days off, not one day off, man, since I started the stream here in February of 2021. I had a bit of a little problem, and then we got to 1,000 subscribers, and I said, I'll never look back. I want to do this for the rest of my life. And, man, look what's happened, man. Look where we are now. And soon it'll be 6 years that I've been doing this. 6 years of my life. On the first year and a half, I probably didn't put as much effort in as I did here in 2021. So you could say I've been going real hard for about 4 years now, you know? But this is a dream. And my dream to 100,000 subscribers, man, get the plaque sent by Google. You hit 100,000 subs, you get a plaque. You know how many people in America even have that plaque? It's such a small group of people to be in. I'm fighting so hard to get there. Subscribe to the channel. Every single day, I haven't stopped, not once, baby. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to cry. I'm not trying to moan. I'm trying to show that this could be any person. I could be person A or B. This is the grind of a human. This is what it takes to get somewhere in life. Nobody gives you anything. You fight for every single thing you have every single day, and you get exactly what you deserve in this life. Shout out to anybody who subscribed to the channel and made this something bigger than themselves. Let's get to 99,100 today. Let's get to 99,500 tomorrow. Let's get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the week. It can happen. I know it. I believe it. Anything can happen if you put your mind to it. And God bless everybody here on the channel. We love you. We thank you so much. So Solana, back to this idea. Previous support and resistance, bouncing off the 786 in the golden pocket. You would expect a bounce here for Sol in the next couple of days. I like what I'm seeing here for Solana. Looks interesting. Render's on my radar. I owed a big bag of render. Like maybe too big. All right? Like, look, this is a $41,000 bag of render right there. That's crazy, right? Today's P&L, $2,800. Hey. And I own more renders somewhere else, too. Right? There's a bag of SWE. There's some TETH, you know. Let's take a look at what's happening in render. Last time I wanted render to stay inside that flag and consolidate. Then I put it out here in this flag. It did break out, hit the first target at 476 and slumped down. So first thing we look at render is it can't get back above the daily 200 moving average. That may be a bit of a problem. And we'll get to the fan funding in a second too and see all your super chats. I will make sure I don't miss a beat there when it comes to the super chats. We'll make sure everyone gets recognized and that love, because I appreciate that. I've sent in a super chat before, as I was telling you guys, and the person didn't do it, didn't recognize it. I thought it was pretty weird, man. It's like, come on, man. Like, that's your community. Like, that's someone, you know, that's your soil. You want to grow fruit. You want to tend to your garden. So a bit of a beautiful cup and handle here on render. And previous support is resistance. I'd like to see this thing take off back to $6 and really start to get the sense. What I like that I'm seeing here is this giant. Number one, look at this double bottom. Play it out exactly like it should. So just like this double bottom played out, I expect this one to play out as such. And that takes it like all the way to the measured move into this high volume node. That's an $876 render. And not that far back to that all-time high, somewhere at about what? That's his $11. I would have sworn render hit 14 or 15, but $11 here is the highest I see it. So render, it could do a 3x from here, and 4x maybe even too. So like my 40,000 could turn into $160,000. I mean, be pretty sweet. Everyone's so greedy, they want their 100x's, but I take that and be happy with it. Super happy with it. So render on my radar looks interesting. I like what I'm seeing for render, and that could be the beginning of a big move. I own a big old bag of render. It's up to you. You do what you want. Another coin that I like that's on my radar is AIOZ. It's like the deep in king of the game, but not enough people really know about it just yet. It did have some love. Let's take a look at AIOZ. Last time we put it out, it broke out that flag to the upside. Did some damage. Came back down to reality, right? And so now we're kind of watching this consolidation for AIOZ. And then very, very tight inside the zone. And then this tight price action here too as well. And the tighter you get inside of there, the more I'm getting like, okay, you know, that's going to pump. So I like AIOZ. I like the higher lows. I like this tightness. And again, once the altcoins move, people don't realize they don't have much. Like, it doesn't take a lot because liquidity comes and they move fast. So this will slump. And then when they boom, it goes through the gap. It'll take a couple days. It'll be 77. And then boom. And next thing you know, it's back to that all-time high. And it just, you know, and it happens so fast, you don't even realize it. That's why when people say, oh, like, if you wait till the hype, you're going to miss alt season. And that's why everyone's like, when's alt season? Alt season is when you're buying in the dumps. That's alt season. You know what I'm saying? Alt season is when you sell after everyone finally believes it's alt season. Alt season for you should be buying when nobody gives a damn about alt season. That's alt season. That's why I always thought it was funny when alt season. Who gives a dang? It doesn't matter. That's what everyone else wants to know. That's not what you want to know. You're a crypto lifer. You stack in you know, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, but a crypto lifer stacks in the pain. A crypto lifer grinds in the dirt. A crypto lifer buys the blood, baby, every single time. That's it. No questions asked. Remember when we got here to 15 and I said, I have to buy Bitcoin here? I don't have a choice. I programmed my brain to always buy the shaded region. And I told everyone, if you just buy the shaded region, you're like 95%, you're going to be okay. You're going to be able to get out of the rat race buying the shaded region. I did that. I bought Bitcoin 3K, 5K, 10K, 12K, whenever this indicator came out. And whenever I saw it anywhere below 15, my goodness, I thought that is a steal for Bitcoin. I should be grabbing as much Bitcoin as I can right there all the time, right? So that's what I did. And that's what I continue to do. And I had to do it. 84,000, we weren't all the way there, but we were somewhere in the middle. And I figured you got to take whatever you can get. So I took 84,000. And, you know, so that's, you know, what you want to be, you know. So whenever this is a great indicator with the 2-week stochastics RSI. I've been able to really hone in on great places to buy BTC. All right. One of the hottest coins in the game that continues to show hotness and really doesn't care because it's got its own ecosystem. It's been around a long time. Is Binance Coin. All right. And I love I love BNB. I got into BNB a long time ago. I gave BNB to the trading group right here at 650. It is ripping. It went to an all-time high and it's sitting really pretty right now at 797. I wouldn't be surprised if it continued to go up. If Bitcoin pumps and holds 118 and starts to get rally, like a good rally, I mean, this is going to be one of the first things to respond very, very strong. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can actually hide things on the chart. So look, say I wanted to do a daily analysis, but I didn't want to delete it. I can do my daily analysis. I can go to create a group of drawings. I can go here to rename the drawing. I can call it daily analysis. Okay. Now I click this, click off of that, and then I can make it bang. And now I can do another bit of analysis if I'd like to see what's happening. But we gave you that call right there, perfect entry. Tight moving averages, above the 21-day moving average. Very likely that was going to play out. That is a beautiful pump to the upside, right? That's a 29% gain, and it took from like the 1st of July. 29% in 30 days. That's a percent a day, basically, you were getting paid to hold BNB, which ain't bad. I mean, you're not losing money like inflation. You were not getting a 1% a day from the US dollar. I'll tell you that right now. So you tell me what's better. A cryptocurrency created by one of the richest people in the world right now as it stands, and one of the greatest exchanges to ever really service the people and to have more people in one exchange than almost, I think, any exchange in the world. Binance may have become the biggest exchange that ever was. Am I wrong? I should say, what is the biggest crypto exchange in the history of crypto exchanges, right? I asked Grok that, and Grok's going to tell me it's got to be Binance, all right? So what is the, I like, the biggest crypto exchange by volume. And we already know, I mean, it's Binance, What was or is the biggest crypto exchange by volume by Grok, right? I love Grok. You could talk to Grok all the time. You can say, hey, can you help me do this? As July, Binance is the largest cryptocurrency exchange by trading, dominates the market with 38% share of spot trading volume among centralized exchanges, recording $48.2 billion in April of 2025 alone. Despite 18% drop from March, its daily trading volume often exceeds $16 billion. And when including derivatives, it can surpass $71 billion. Binance's extensive range of cryptocurrencies, competitive fees, and robust trading tools contribute to its leading position. Historically, Binance has consistently held the top spot since 2017, when it rapidly rose to prominence. Other major exchanges like Gate.io, BitGet, trail significantly behind in 2025. No single exchange has surpassed Binance's volume in recent years, though competitors like Coinbase and OKX have held strong positions, particularly in specific markets. I mean, Binance, man, no one's beat them. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, man. Nobody. And it's upsetting that we all got kicked off. Like, even with the United States getting booted, they still dominate the game. And I really pray and hope every day that Binance.com comes back to America, that somehow they figure that out. Operation Choke Point, you know, which really choked Binance out of America. Then they gave us Binance US, which was horrible. Then they even choke pointed that when they said they couldn't use USD. I remember they had the whole issue with the stable coins and the packs and all that craziness. So, yeah, I mean, I pray and hope one day Binance.com comes back. Took a lot of money away from, you know, anyone that's in the game in America. Can't be a part of the biggest exchange with the biggest volume. It's a lot of that's a lot of revenue lost by the United States, man, by not letting its American citizens use that platform in a major way. So it is what it is. Over time, I hope we figure all this out, the regulations and everything gets squared away. But that's a major miss there when you think about it, and it's always bummed me out. I like watching this on the 22. I look for this to consolidate. It could shoulder right shoulder, but I look for it to consolidate. Again, the whole market looks like it needs all coins look like they need like 5 to 10 days to do their thing, right? So funny. I know, right? And arrest a certain person is trending on Twitter right now. You know who it is, right? Anyway, I won't even get into it. It's so crazy, man, right? So yeah, no crazy trades today. Like, Sammy ain't going nuts like he usually is. He does have some big trades open though, and we're gonna go from there, right? I'm not really too stressed. I got these two big daily. They're kind of equaling themselves out right now. One's up 130, one's down 250, and we're just kind of sitting pretty on this daily flag. Looking for this daily flag to do damage in the next 4 to 5 days at the most. Come on, Bitcoin. You liquidated everybody twice, 3 times now. You'd think we'd have enough short positions to go after us to the upside, right? And if you jump on into weeks today, just want to talk about weeks right now, you will be upgraded to a VIP 6, which gives you 50% less fees if you use my link. So sign up using my link today to onboard to weeks. If you want those lower fees compared to everyone else in the game, use my years of reputation in trading and my connection to weeks to get yourself that awesome little gem. If you're going to be trading anyway, you might as well trade with less fees. So love it, love it, love it. They also have great customer service and no KYC for American customers too. So you can check that out. You'll love it. No VPN and no red tape. Just nice and easy to use. Weeks.com. Find out more at Weeks. All right. Yeah. Pretty awesome. I like that they do that too, because they're always hooking me up, man. They're always like, hey, we got to do something for your lifers. I'm like, let's do it. And again, it's an incentive. It's their business, but we're all going to be trading. You know, one day I sat down someone tried to like look at the whole like, you know, exchange idea business, you know, and it's like exchanges and the fees. And it's like, but you're going to be going into the market and trading. And yes, you want to be decentralized and all that, but right now we just don't have the volume. Look at Binance. All the volume was in Binance. So you're going to be inputting and outputting, man. And so you gotta use an exchange. Like, it just doesn't. So either we boycott all exchanges and we sit there and make no money, or we realize this is the system right now and we participate. You know, and I basically can find you the best deals on these exchanges because I've been out here for so long and I'm the lifer, right? So because I'm one of the most consistent people in the space, the exchanges reach out to me, right? And we created such a community. And so if we're gonna, and so there you go. And so I can use who I am to give you guys better deals, less fees. And so why not? So again, and then I also get compensated too. It's a beautiful relationship. So I find it to be, you know, it is what it is. It's going to happen anyway. So we might as well, you know, if we're going to trade, we might as well pay less fees. So shout out to Weeks. We appreciate that. I love you guys. And, just shout out to the whole experience. All the exchanges that work hard, really, really hard, they do make good money. They are businesses, but they provide a great service. Cryptocurrency market would not be able to operate without these exchanges. There would be no cryptocurrency market. I wouldn't have been talking about Binance that has the highest volume ever on Grok. So when you got to kind of put it all together there and see how does the infrastructure work in the industry? How do we put it together? How does it all, And there's really, you cannot hate on infrastructure that you need is my whole point. Even though it may not be perfect in all sets, some people aren't happy with every exchange. But, over time, we perfect them and we get better. So, shout out to everybody here on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate that. And people subscribing, we're seeing the numbers going up. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. On our way to 100,000. Justin Sun sets its sights on the NASDAQ 100 for Tron Inc. by 2028. That'd be pretty good to see Tron Inc. on the NASDAQ. And he's on his way, man. I don't see why he can't do it. He's accomplished a lot, that young man. He's a billionaire now at this point, right? Okay. So one last thing I wanted to talk about today that kind of was on my radar was, are the older coins really going to start making a bit of a pump? A bunch of Jeffries and Karens hallucinating about when they're going to start a business. You're getting jammed up. Predatory car loans, predatory 30 years mortgage, holding 0 cryptos. Yep. Remove your stop because my entry is there. You're funny. Family Network. You get crazy value for $99 a month. Thank you for saying that. Has anyone ever looked at Profi? It's a cool project bringing in blockchain to the real estate world. Yeah, we love Profi. We talked about it many, many times in this channel on and off in the last few years, definitely for sure. $3.99 in chat revenue. You people are amazing. Memberships given. A life worth living. Let's take a look at the fan funding. Pop up that chat and see what's happening here in crypto. Live chat, too. I always make sure. I don't know why they made that top chat. All right, now we're going to go through all your super chats, everybody. We're going to break it down. We got Landesy Realty, who became a lifer. Thank you. And then we got Penny Harris. Thank you. We got Megard 314 with the Canadian $13.99. Can you look at Kita? Thanks for what you're doing. God bless. Let's take a look at KTA. I like looking at Kita here on Dex Screener. We found it at 12 cents back in the day. Market cap continues to roll. And it bounced off it did a double bottom off the 786, which that's a place where you want to be buying, and it bounced. If you buy the 786 and the 618 over and over again, and you document it, the odds are that your probabilities are going to be high that you're going to win the trades that you buy around there. So if you just kind of make that a habit and look back in 5 years, things should be going pretty well. But I'm not a financial advisor, nothing I say and do. This is just how Fibonacci works. But you'll figure out Fibonacci for yourself one day if you get the education with the lifer. So look for this to get tight and then continue to pump. So far, so good. I don't see why this can't get to the all-time high. It's not that far away, back at 131. And Kita definitely on an uptrend and continuing to rally, baby. Kita, look at that beautiful trend. Look for it to come up, come back to that trend line. So it can rip up to 190, come back to 140, and then just continue again. I like KTA. Look for this to flag out, though. Looks like we need 4 to 5 more days of flagging, just like the whole market. Let's take a look at FARTCOIN. And thank you so much for that super chat. May God bless you. Lazaro Alberto asks about FARTCOIN. He says, is been getting destroyed. YED. Let's take a look at FARTCOIN. It is interesting. It had a huge pump. It's almost like, did they move to a different coin? But it could also just be in this bigger consolidation like I talked about. That's why this bounce for Bitcoin is important. Bitcoin slumps. All these altcoins are going to dump. They're going to grab liquidity again. And lately, they've just been really like, every time it kind of pumps, people get into the market. And then they slump them all, kick them out. Pumps, put in the market, slump them all, kick them out. And like, it's like flogging, man. They keep doing it. And they bring less and less. Every time people come in the market, they kick them out again. It's really weird because it's like, why does someone want so many people out of the market? I thought they needed liquidity. I thought they wanted to wreck us. You know what I mean? It's been weird. And that's been kind of dragging the volume lower throughout the summer, too. You know, I'm looking for the bounce and for the bigger move. I still see it going to 362. It's very bullish. Like, it came up, came back down, held that low, then pumped again. That's still a higher low. Until you take out this low at 77 cents, you got to remain bullish. That's in an uptrend. What the people do is they focus on selling Like the fact that a coin is down and they get negative about it. But you really have to look at about where is the low? Are you in a higher low? Because if you haven't made a lower low, then you really shouldn't be looking down at anything. You should actually be happy that you're still in an uptrend. A lot of people don't realize when they're in an uptrend and they should be looking at the bullish moment, and they're actually focused on the day-to-day selling. Like they're looking at like the 5-hour candle, the 4-hour candle selling off, and the 4-hour candles, right? Let's just say 20 hours of selling, and they're not realizing they're in an uptrend. Right, so you always want to zoom out. You want to kind of see where you're at. FARTCOIN, to me, is still in an uptrend. It does need to bounce desperately very, very soon, though. Like, it kind of has to bounce in the next day or two. Like, if it starts to slump and lose its channel, then it's going to test 77. If it loses 77, it goes to 43. It is a little coin that could turn to nothing. You have to remember that. You're speculating on a coin that is called FARTCOIN, man. You know? What happens to some of these coins is they get strong for 2, 3 months, 5 months, maybe even a year, and then one day they just dump, and everyone's like, but I thought it was a... And then everyone's like, but you were in FARTCOIN, man. Like, you weren't in a construction company. You weren't buying Bitcoin. You know, let's get real. You know what I'm saying? Like every day could be the day that thing's going to zero. People get comfortable when a meme coin holds its level, and they almost get a little too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And they forget that any day could be that day, baby. Can you check ZYPTO? I've never heard of ZYPTO. Let's take a look at ZYPTO. And thank you so much for these super chats. They make the show so exciting and fun. I don't know what I'm going to look at. I don't know what I'm going to learn about. It's really awesome. So I appreciate the stream. I learned so much for the stream. This stream is a journey for me every day. I never know what the journey's going to, what we're going to find, what we're going to teach, what we're going to learn. I never know exactly what I'm going to say. Sun's coming back out, baby. See that? ZYPTO, resistance at 01121, bounce off 0053. I know coin looks absolutely horrible, right? It just got sold off beyond belief. You know, it finally is trying to get back above its daily 200 moving average. It's trying to get back above the 4. It's trying to get back above the 1. It is back above the 15. So like you basically would have to watch this 15 flag. It has to break out if you're bullish. And you then have to get back above the 1 hour 200 moving average. Then you have to do the same thing on the 2 hour, the 3 hour, and then the 4 hour. That will keep you busy for the next week if you're into this coin. So I do see a possibility of a movement, but very low volume. I don't know enough about it. If you believe in it, you're buying the bottom though. You're definitely not chasing the top. So there you go. Just wanted to say, and then we have Powderhound 9611. Just wanted to say you've changed mine and my family's life for the better. I'm able to be financially free with your teachings. Love you, my man. Thank you for everything you do. I can't believe that. I mean, God bless you. And let's take a look at the top fans today. We got Land to Sea with the 16,000 XP points. That's huge. Powderhound right behind them, though, with 600. We have Ricardo Vandernoort, McGard, Olancini, Lane The Hood XSD, Taylor Murphy, Lifts. We love you, Taylor. Thank you. I see you being very active in the group. Liable J, Mr. Flawless, Mr. Butters, Stephen Watson, Victor Navarro, Keeping It Real Since Podcast, Mad B, Bellico, X, Rave Song Records, Kyle Bullington, Nandon, and all the way to Zombo Matt, and Tanku Candle. That reminds me of TOKABU. TOKABU was hot. Actually, it was pumping yesterday. TOKABU, right? Wow, it did continue to pump. Look at that. And almost headed to the target. It hit 146%, still holding gains of 95%. TOKABU. And this thing could get huge. It's casino gambling or something, but, you know, I don't know exactly what it is, what use case it has, but TOKABU. 22.5 million. Interesting. And we did see it here on this rising wedge. It looked like it could pump, and it did. Looked like it was an inverted head and shoulder that made gains. Let's get back into the chat. Thank you so much, Powderhound. That's so nice of you to say. God bless you. Hey, Sam, God bless. Could you look at Turbo 1 hour? Thanks for all you do. Turbo 1 hour will probably follow Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's slumping, Turbo will be slumping. If Bitcoin's bumping, look, that's creating that Adam and Eve double bottom. So far, we got the bounce. We've been sideways the whole stream. Just like I told you, basically barely any movement in price. We've been between 117.9 and 118.1 for literally the last hour and a half. So Same price action ever since that little drop. Nothing to write home about here. Just hanging. But you know what? I'm with my lifers. I feel entertained. I feel excited. We're learning. We're teaching. And that's what it's about. It's not always about price action. We can create a show out of thin air, baby. I can entertain you no matter what. I'm looking at this on the 4-hour time frame. I don't know about the 1 hour, but I like the 4 hour and the daily on Turbo. It's in a giant cup and handle. You asked about the 1 hour. It's just like Bitcoin. We're in some slop. You know, low volume trading after the Fed day. Usually the worst day to go hard. I learned that. One day I kind of pushed it a little too hard after Fed day, and I just learned and I knew better too. And I'm like, what were you thinking, man? I didn't lose tons of money. I just frustrated myself that day, and it was like, why do that, man? And now that sticks out of my head. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that again. Let it come to you. Be easy, right? Looks like we could get some type of cup and handle off the 1 hour. Again, you got to get above the 200 moving average. You're looking for some type of flag. Doesn't look amazing. And if Bitcoin slumps, this could slump. And maybe you come right back down to 004480. Not my best analysis here because price action is pretty choppy. You know, in my mind, it actually broke back inside the pattern. You should have stayed outside of that too, which means, hey, but it isn't a flag. And thank you so much, Ricardo Vandernort. Thoughts on AAVE and DeFi coins? Taylor Murphy. DeFi coins is a very large area, so I'll look at AAVE, and that's kind of it. I'm not going to be going through a bunch of DeFi coins. But yeah, AAVE, I see what you're saying, though. AAVE is kind of pulling back. Again, same idea here. We just want to see it maybe it's just making a flag. And it's going to eventually bounce back to the top of the channel. I'd love to see this thing bounce and consolidate. What is going on? Is people abandoning DeFi? Like, what's happening to AAVE, right? It looks a little weird. Let's take a look at AAVE on the bigger time frame, like the daily. Oh, that is the daily. Sorry. Yeah. So you need a bounce. Kind of look like the 15-minute to me. We need a bounce there, an inverted head and shoulder. Home markets kind of has to bounce today. It's crazy, right? It's at a precipice. We need to see a bounce in a lot of the market today. Huge milestone. Congratulations and thank you. Shout out to TPT1 Don or TPT1 Don. We love you. Thank you so much. We're so close, man, to 100,000 subscribers. 99,000, huh? It's basically I'm there. Like 99, like I've hit 1,000. I've made 1,000 so many times. Like I've gone from 17 to 18, 19 to 20. So I basically, long as I stay alive. So I told myself, all I got to do is stay alive. So like someone argues with me or something happens, I think of 100K and I go, I don't want to get in an argument. My goal is so awesome. It keeps me from getting caught up with the wrong people, going places I shouldn't, because I got to get to 100K, baby. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get in an argument on the road. I'm not going to let some road rage person do something to me. I'm not going to be at the wrong place at the wrong time because I don't hang out at bar rooms and drink. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm making sure that I'm in the right place. I'm taking care of myself. I got rid of the alcohol, everyone. I haven't drinking alcohol in 4 years. I don't touch it. I don't drink it. Every once in a while I smell a beer. It looks like it might be nice. And I tell myself, for what? And I walk away. And then I never, thank God I haven't touched hard alcohol. So that's changed my life. It's changed my life. I've had a couple good friends in the last 4 to 5 years. They've been drinking. They've hurt themselves pretty bad, And a lot of times it was due to alcohol, car accidents, pain, just issues. Or they leave things that, and they have bills, they leave their car places. It's just things happen and it adds up over time. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, man, the second I got rid of alcohol, my life was so much better. I remember one time I was at a company party. I didn't get enough gin. And I just started it was like I got drunker and drunker. And by the end of the night, I was like, I want one more drink. And the guy's like, no, we're closed. And I was like, just give me a drink so I can just smash it and get out of here. And like when he wouldn't give me the drink, I got all nasty. You know what I mean? I was like, my boss, who is still cool with me. He's my friend. I call her my boss, but she's like, what's going on? And she didn't really hear what was going on. And I tried to and I realized I was just about to fight a dude over a little more gin. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. So I learned that me and alcohol don't mix. And it would be just better off that I don't do it, and my life will go so much better. So, and I appreciate what you're doing. I'm in London, and it's an inspiration to always come to your channel and hear consistent upliftment. Can you look at XMR? Yeah, I mean, XMR has been hot recently, especially with this turbo case. I think it's been putting, privacy coins in the spotlight. I looked at XMR. It looked like it was going to make a cup and handle there. It looked actually pretty interesting to me. Slumped over, though. Didn't really do it. If you do look at the the 3-day chart, it does look like it's making a bigger falling wedge here. And the 618 golden pocket is lower, somewhere at about 263. So it looks like we'll hit 263 and then maybe go back on our next tear. But it does look like we have to come back down to that golden pocket. For the machine, congrats on 99, brother. Blessings to another 99K and beyond. I mean, isn't that amazing if I get to 198,000 subscribers? Shout out to Mad B for the 10. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. They'll come back to you tenfold. You didn't have to give, but you did. Shout out to Victor Navarro. Sammy, can we chart TARS AI? I'm almost 50% down on my big bag. TARS needs some love. How high could TARS go this bull run? Love your stream. Learning a lot. Me too. I'm down on that TAI. It's one of the few coins that just, when we had a nice pump, did not truly respond. Pretty whack. This coin's weird, man. Whenever I looked at it, it pumps. Whenever I start to get into it, it slumps around. It's back down at the 786. This is where we should be getting a pump. Let's clean this up and just show you one more time. Alt F, bottom to the top, wick to wick, 786 coming down. Shows that we could get that level bounce from. I mean, that's just a beautiful thing, right? Cup and handle, TARS AI. I got faith in my system. I didn't want to have to wait this long. Took way too long. I didn't think it was going to slump like this. It's been getting sold off ever since May of 25th. It's been on a downtrend. It's still hugging a higher low, but whatever. It's just not as mature as other coins, finding its way, whatever you want to say. And from that sell-off in December 24th at 42 cents. Wow, and it came out at 2 cents. It did a 20x, 21x. Then you can get it back at 2 cents again, and now you can get it at 6 cents. It's just nuts. It goes back to 40. It's doing basically a 6x, 7x, 42 cents. It's a 7x possibly coming out of this thing, but it's taken forever. You know, it's taken a lot to hold it. So I'm still in TARS AI. This is what I see happening. But again, I'm not a soothsayer. And, you know, maybe they get some news, really vamp up their game, start working hard. I don't know what's going on over there at TARS AI. But I'd like them to kind of step it up a little bit. That's all. I don't want to say anything bad. Just come on. Let's get some more marketing. Let's get it going. Bitcoin, beautiful pump since we last looked at it. Actually, gorgeous pump. Back to 118, 265, 266. Trades are looking pretty nice. Everything kind of in the running, right? Now we're basically back. We're in the green now. This one's up 200. This one's down 94. So now we flipped to turn these positions green, but we'll see what happens. You did see them. They were underwater earlier today. So I gave you everything I could today. I showed you my daily trades. I told you to stay away from the small time frames. They did absolutely nothing. Trading them this morning, I think, would have been treachery. All right. So we left it alone. I showed you my weeks. I showed you my BitNEX trade too. That's still kind of cooking. That I opened along you know, a bit ago as well. That trade is up though. Let's show you here. $57, 8%. Okay. We just want to hold this to 2-hour, 200 moving average. See that? I'd watch the 2-hour time frame. I'd flag it out. And I know I don't always use the 2-hour, but I would flag out the 2-hour. I'd make sure that the 21 crosses the 200 and we get our pump. It looks beautiful to me. So I'll leave you with this, everybody. I love you. I appreciate you. I care about you. I thank you so much. See how it got brighter and brighter as the sun came out? We don't even need this light now. I can turn that light off, kind of balance me off there. There you go. Everybody, thank you so much for being here as part of this amazing live stream. Every time, whoever I get, I'm blessed. No matter what happens, every single day, I'm so grateful for what I do have. Always look for gratitude. Always build yourself up. Gratitude is a microcosm in the brain. We can say we're grateful, but in the back of our minds, we can still not be grateful. We have to truly believe in gratitude and a frequency. It has to fill us. We have to say that everything we have is perfect right now, and be grateful for what God has given us. You know, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Again, I'm sorry to the people that lost their lives in that New York incident there. Horrible. Blessings on blessings that everyone that stays true to God and their heart and soul and loves everyone no matter what. So I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. I'm going to hang out. As you can see, I do got pants on every single day. Shirt tucked in, ready to go. This is where I'm at. This is my homely abode, man. This is life. Everybody, I love you. I appreciate you more than you would ever know. And I will fight every single day to keep the lifers alive and keep us profitable. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't think I'm saying you should be taking as financial advice, but I'm going to give you as much education, as much discipline, and as much know-how as I can to keep you afloat and keep you going in this stream of cryptocurrency. Everyone, I love you. Thank you so much. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Remember, you know what the secret to success is. I say it every day, but just in case you forgot, everybody out there, or if you're new to the channel, I know what the secret to success is. I became successful. I figured out what it was. It's insane. It's really interesting. You know what the secret to success is? There's a secret to it. It's getting started.